Liverpool 4, Ipswich 1. Bit of a stroll in the park, that really, wasn't it? But job well done. Very, very easy game. Goals from Szoboszlai, Salah and Gakpo with 2 to put us 4-0 up. There's a couple of really interesting stats though that come from that game. We are now unbeaten in 18 successive games in the league. For Szoboszlai to be unbeaten in 18 games in his debut season is unparalleled for over a century. And that's the first time that has happened since William Edward Barkley in 1893-94, and that was in the second division. We were the invincibles of the second division that season. Incredible. It was Virgil van Dijk's 300th appearance, and once again he was absolutely impeccable. Mo Salah on the score sheet yet again. He's now got 19 goal involvements in 16 Anfield appearances this season, more than any other player in the top 5 European leagues, and he just continues to stack up the numbers, doesn't he? We remain 6 points clear of Arsenal, who got a 1-0 win away at Wolves. Forest are now out of it, Chelsea are now out of it, and City were out of it anyway. But funny enough, City could be key, because the next game we've got is away at Bournemouth, but the next game Arsenal have got is at home to Man City. So very interesting games coming up. But anyway, let's get on to the game. First half, and it went with the strongest 11 available, in my opinion, and it looked like that throughout the whole game. The thing about having that midfield trio, and I'm going to talk more about that midfield trio later, is the energy they bring and the speed at which they do things is quite incredible. The back 5 picks itself, and right now with Jota out, I think the front 3 really picks itself as well. And it was total and utter domination from about minute 5. For the first 5 minutes it was a bit of, let's get a feel for the game, and after that, utter domination. Ipswich just reverted into this, I could only call it a 5-5-0 formation with no intent at all. And I know they're at the bottom of the league, and I know they're scared to death because they're playing Liverpool after just losing 6-0. But you can't win games like that. You can't draw games like that against a team like Liverpool. It's not possible. So why bother? Give it a try. At least leave a couple of men forward and try and hit on the break. But he didn't do any of it. Liverpool were completely dominant, but it was domination with intent. It was clever, incisive football. And we're knocking it around outside the box, but it's not just sideways, then launching a cross in. It's clever stuff, and we had Ipswich running all over the place. By the end of the game, and by the way, this is Ipswich hardly getting out of their half in the entire game, they ran several more kilometres than we did, because they're chasing shadows. And then very occasionally we would lose the ball in that first half, very, very occasionally, because the passing was so precise. And the Liverpool players were like rabid dogs getting it back. They were absolutely brilliant. Ipswich just could not get out at all. The inevitable goal came early for once, 11th minute. Kanate knocks it into Szoboszlai, and the manager's been asking him to do more of this, and he did it today. A little drop of the shoulder, and then he hits an arrow into the bottom corner. Keeper got a touch on it, but it was a great effort and a great goal. Total domination after that for the next 19 minutes before suddenly Gakpo puts in a cross. Mo Salah controls it with his right and blasted in with his left from an almost impossible angle in a split second. It was an absolutely tremendous piece of skill. I think the crowd couldn't actually believe it. It took them about 3 seconds to actually react, because I don't think they could believe that it actually went in. Great finish. And then on 43 minutes, Gravenberch with a pinpoint through ball to Szoboszlai, who's unfortunate his shot is saved, but it comes out to Gakpo and he just taps it home. And at half time it's 3-0 and could have been 4 or 5. It was utter domination, and Ipswich had no clue at all. So on to the second half. No changes by Anne at half time, and nothing changed from Ipswich. After about 6 or 7 minutes of the second half, I was looking at their final third, and all 11 Ipswich players were on the semicircle on the edge of the box or behind it. All of them. So how on earth they thought they were ever going to get out? And of course they couldn't get out. And then on 66 minutes, Liverpool is knocking it around. This time wasn't so much intent. We were just managing the game, keeping them running. But then 66 minutes, Trent puts in a cross, Gakpo breaks the offside, and he's on his own and he nods it home, and it's 4-0. And it then rings the changes. We ended up bringing 5 substitutes on: Elliott, Endo, Nunez, and then Danz, and then eventually Chiesa. I was disappointed it didn't get more minutes than that. I'm going to be nice and say it was the 5 subs that disrupted our play, disrupted our rhythm. But the reality was, being honest, is we got complacent again. A team that hadn't had a sniff. They had 1 effort in the 66th minute that Alisson saved. They get 2 on target in the last 10 minutes of the game and score from a corner where we put Harvey Elliott on their biggest forward. And they make it 4-1. And I shouldn't have been angry, but I was, because we should never be letting in a goal to Ipswich. Again, how many times have I mentioned it? Complacency. We can't ever be complacent. We're really bad at it. Or as my mate Richard Shepherd Guardian corrected me, he said, we're really good at it. And he's right. Where as soon as we go complacent, we seem to let goals in. And a team that had 26% possession ended the game on the front foot. But anyway, I'm being really, really picky because we were brilliant for 80 minutes. I watched Slot's post-match and he said exactly the same. It was virtual perfection for 85 minutes. But a brilliant win, a brilliant display. Once again, we just looked head and shoulders the best club, the best team, the best squad in the country by quite some distance. So on to the shout-outs. The first shout-out goes to the midfield trio of Gravenberch, McAllister and Szoboszlai, because they are playing football at a different level. They are absolutely brilliant. The balance is perfect. It was a masterclass from all 3 of them. They were technically brilliant. They were incisive. They were creative. They had passion, hunger, desire. They're fast. They're clever. They think fast. And they're also incredibly fast in their fleet of foot as well. They're just absolutely sensational. And they're playing elite level football in the middle of the park. And there's the old saying, you know, that goals win games and defences win titles. But midfields like this win titles because they are protecting the defence and they're supplying the attack in equal measure. And they were absolutely stunningly good today, the 3 of them. It was only when they went off that we lost any control of the game. But, I mean, wow. Without a doubt, they are the midfield trio that if we do go on to win the title, they're going to be the 3 main players in that centre. And they're getting better. I can't think of a single moment in that game. I'm sure there was one, but I can't think of one where any of the 3 of them were anything less than excellent. When any of the 3 of them made any type of mistake. Sensational stuff. I'm glowing in my praise because they absolutely deserve it. The other shout out I'm going to give is to Cody Gakpo. 2 more goals today. He's scoring with his head. He scored another header today. His timing for those headers is brilliant. He's scoring careless from outside of the box. He's blasting them in. And he's there at the end of chances like he did today to just toe poke one home. And he's in the best form of his Liverpool career. And he's now on 8 goals for the season in the league. The same as Luis Diaz. So between Salah with 19 and those 2 with 8 each, that's 35 goals that those front 3 have got between them. Last shout out goes to Trent. I think we can forget about that Man United game now. It was an anomaly. Something wasn't right with him that day, but he has been excellent since, and he excelled again today. His passing, his link-up play, his ability to pick a world-class pass like he did for Gakpo's goal. He had one brilliant shot where it came to him at a difficult angle, but he adjusted his body and unfortunately hit the post with it. He had another great effort as well that he didn't manage to find the net. He's now on 6 assists for the season, same as Kevin De Bruyne. He's been back to his best over recent weeks, and that is brilliant to see because we need them. We need every one of these players from now till the end of the season. And by the looks of what we saw today, that's what we're getting. Because the whole team, the whole balance of the team, their ability to defend, their driving midfield, and their ability to score goals way more than any other team is just a joy right now. So as I say, we stay 6 clear of Arsenal with a game in hand. Forest's challenge is over. They lost 5-0 to Bournemouth. And we have Bournemouth next, away from home. So that's going to be an interesting one. We would have put that down to probably a win a few weeks ago. You look at that and go, yeah, it's 3 points. They've just played Newcastle away and Forest at home, and they beat them 9-1 on aggregate. 9-1 against Newcastle and Forest. They're in the top 5 or 6, the pair of them. You look at all the games we've got, this one might actually be the hardest one that we've got left, but I have every faith in our lads. The one good thing about that game is that Bournemouth are on a high. They're going to come at us, and anyone that comes at us obviously leaves space, and we don't normally have that luxury. So it could be a hell of a game, but I have great faith that these lads will see it through. Before that though, it's on to PSV for the final Champions League game, and rest some players, mate. We've got Bournemouth next, and we're guaranteed top 2 now. We're through. so give the lads a break. He probably won't, but let's see. So although we didn't get any points on Arsenal today, one slight positive is that we actually built up another +2 on the goal difference versus them, which you never know, could come into the equation. It shouldn't, but it might. And we're now +10 on them. So more records for Mo Salah, more records for Arne Slot, more records for this team, and on we go to Europe. I'll see you after the PSV game. You'll never walk alone. See you soon. Ta-ra.